Hello, good evening, welcome. It is club call time. We are taking calls this week. James is not there. He's there. James, put yourself on the screen, mate, so everyone can see. There he is, look. There he is. There's James sitting in his producer seat, but he will be part of the show. He's just going to sit over there so we can take calls, because Baz... Where's Baz gone?
I actually don't know. I didn't ask him.
He said he was getting off at 4:30, and it was like come up on the calendar about 8 times that he was getting off. So he's got off. I don't even know where he's gone. So, couple of things.
Going to you now. The wide one, we're still on that.
That's fine. That's fine. So we've got. If you want to give us a call, give us a call. But if you want to give us a call, obviously you have to be on Toffee TV Premier. The link is there, and you have to be a YouTube member as well if you want to give us a call. So the links are there to give us a call. The reason that is because I can't just be giving the number out to anybody. You can only give it out to the people we know. But two things. So the freaking situation. When do people believe this is going to be announced? And do people believe it's going to be announced in some crazy way with some crazy video? I'm thinking Tom Cruise jumping out of a Spitfire, right? That's what I'm thinking. Any thoughts on that, James? Wasn't listening.
I wasn't listening.
That was a
trying
test.
to figure out.
That was a test. Or the other one is, loads of people have been saying to me in the last day, about the season ticket process. I know a lot of people aren't happy about the process of the season tickets. I can't confirm or deny that there's only 3,000 people who've been given season tickets, who've come off the waiting list. I don't know if that's factually correct, because I've not seen any numbers, so I can't sit here saying that has definitely happened. Okay, so, but I do know that people aren't happy. So if you've come off the waiting list, then please come on and share that with us, the joy that you feel. And if you haven't come off the waiting list and you're not happy about that, then let us know about that as well, what your feelings are. I've seen people saying that they don't believe that enough people have, there's rumours that only 3,000, as I said. There's rumours that there's going to be 10,000 walk-ups. I can't confirm these numbers. These are what other people are saying. So let us know if you feel strongly about that. I'm not going to go on about it because honestly I don't know. But if you feel strongly about that, would like to hear your thoughts on that, and anything else that we're going to talk about. So the freaking situation, it hasn't obviously happened yet, and I know a lot of people are waiting for this to happen and just want it to happen, even just so it's that line in the sand, aren't they? Just that line in the sand so we can move on. So James, have you got a caller on?
I have, but I'll be honest, I don't know what the name is.
Okay.
They won't answer me, but
okay, put them on and we'll find out. There we go.
Should be maybe there, you know.
Is anyone there? I can't hear anyone. We'll let James figure that out.
I'm making a new room.
You're making a new room?
Yeah.
So you're kicking out anyone who's in that room?
Yeah. And
they've got to come back? That feels harsh.
Something, I've clicked the wrong setting or something, I think.
Can't get the staff. So let's just let James figure that out if you want to give us a call. Austin says, would an announcement be made this evening? I don't know. I don't know when an announcement will be made. I don't know whether Everton will make an announcement and then make like a short statement, like the Freakins and Everton make a short statement, and then maybe more will happen. I could see basically tomorrow and a statement coming out from the Freakins and Everton saying the deal is done, very pleased, and then maybe Friday, if the stadium is handed over on Friday, if it's handed over on Friday, do they make like a bigger deal of it? Is that when they have the press conference? We'll wait and see. I don't know. Any luck, James?
A new link's out now, so go on.
A
to
new
Patreon
link is out
or
now.
YouTube
A new
posts.
link is, just check that out. I'm getting messages to say that the link that you've sent out doesn't look like the normal link that people normally see.
That's what I thought too, but I've done it the exact same way.
Yeah, have you though? I can't really come round and critique your work because I'm on my own. And I'm just trying to smash this out. So, yeah, let us know how you think it's going to be announced. And also, as I said, with the season ticket situation, are you slightly disappointed that it's been done in a way that you're not happy with? As I said, I can't really comment on it because in terms of, like, I don't know. Everton haven't released any numbers in terms of how many season ticket holders. I don't know whether someone said earlier on that they got a message to say that they were unsuccessful, but there'll be another window in March, I think. So again, because Everton haven't put those details out, which is fair enough if they don't want to put those details out, it's difficult to know. Chris Byrne says, yeah, it's still not right. Chris, we'll try and get it sorted, mate. We'll try and get that sorted. I don't know. An announcement could be made. Mark Foster says, very low key, likely tomorrow. The Freaking Group HQ may release the news. They are a few hours behind us time wise. Oh, he says he thinks it's working now.
Yeah, I was going to say if that one's okay. I don't know what I've done.
Chris, stop staring her up, lad.
There's one person, I think it's that fella in here.
Okay, we'll put him on then.
Okay.
Right, we'll just wait for our first person on the club call this week.
Okay, you should be turning on.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
No, I can't hear anyone.
Do you need to turn my mic up?
I can't hear anyone.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Which is really important for the show.
It says it's on the output device.
No. I can't hear anyone. This is just live stuff. This is what happens when it's live.
You can't hear him now?
No. Am I
Hello.
Things definitely connected. Can you see that? It says AirPods.
Yeah, there's two.
I've just heard a bing.
Depends who's live.
Right, who's that?
That's me. It's Chris.
Hello,
Can you hear me?
Chris.
You can hear me. Hey, he's got it working.
We've got it working, mate. We've got it working. The sweat is dripping off poor James. It's dripping off him. And because we all know that he sits wearing basically clothes that you climb the Andes in, then you can understand how hot he is.
I'd expected Gru, the evil mastermind, to be able to work technology, but there you go.
Well, you would, wouldn't you? You would, but that's why he has minions.
End the stream now.
What?
We should end the stream.
Oh, look, he's got a bit of power now. But that's why he has minions.
I like that.
Yeah, go on.
I like that, yeah. Yeah, I mean, not even Everton can rain on my parade at the moment because I just got engaged.
Did you?
Yes, I did. And you know what? I'm going to brag about that to the end of time.
Fair
because play. I can't even believe it myself, so I'm very happy about that.
Fair play to you.
Yeah, thanks for sharing the tweet, by the way, actually. I really appreciate that.
No worries, mate.
And I was listening to the live stream earlier, and I can't, and I half understand where Baz is coming from in that it's been such a deflating couple of years for us as fans that I can see why he's not exactly overly enthused about the new ownership coming in.
Yes, Baz was not.
I think
in the live show earlier on Premiere, Baz was. Yeah, Baz was not a sort of happy bunny at all. His energy levels were really, really low. That's all I'd say.
Yeah, fair. I mean, it's weird because I feel like I'm more cautiously optimistic than anything. I wouldn't say I'm like really trying to be too negative or too positive about it either way. I think the way, like, I know a lot of people would want the manager like sacked as soon as they come in, and obviously you guys saw my read out my my huge rant on Sean Dyche. I think it was last month, and I wanted him gone immediately after that Southampton game. I think if your owners and that's coming into a football club the size of Everton, the one thing you would want, like they're more likely to do, is they're going to find out why things are the way they are. Why, like, first of all, I don't think they would necessarily just look at the poor results Sean Dyche has had. I think they would want context to everything before they pull the trigger on any kind of decision, whether that's keeping him until the end of the season or sacking him now. I think it would just be a case of literally just looking at everything, like what their own opinion is of the squad, the staff that's working there, so they have the full context as to why things are the way that they are. If the end result of that is they think they need to keep Sean until the end of the season, then I'm not exactly enthused by that, because I just don't think he's good enough for a football club, and you would have to do a lot of work on that to convince me otherwise, when he's got no history of doing so in the past. But at the same time, this also doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to, just because one or two sources say that they're not going to do that, because we've had reliable sources in the past tell us one thing and then the opposite as happens. So it's one of these things where it's kind of wait and see for me. And what can change for a football club over the next few years can be pretty massive when you consider that the stadium just increases the amount of match day revenue we're turning over. So with that affects the PSR, it affects like the players we can sign. I think yes, we've spent it poorly in the past. That doesn't necessarily mean that the new ownership is going to also do the same, if you see what I mean. Yeah.
No, of course it's a new set of people, isn't it, running the football club? I can see where Baz and other people, because I've actually, you know what's weird, Chris? I've seen people almost more negative about the Freakins coming in than the current situation at the football club.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, like, people like asking questions of like, what's going on at Roma, and did Dan Freakin make his own money? So is that a worry? Do you know, stuff like that, like already putting a dampener on it? And I'm like, and I know, you know, Baz has got his own, and I don't want to drag him in because he's not here, but he's got his own, like, sort of worries and issues. And I think we're all right to have our own worries and issues because of what happened with Mashiri. With Mashiri, we all went in two-footed, and we've seen how it worked out. And that was a guy who's involved in a football club. I don't know. It must be something more to do with like the personalities. I mean, from what I'm led to believe, I was speaking to someone on Friday night who has actually dealt with Dan Freakin in the entertainment world. You know, he produces movies and stuff, and they were saying that because they worked in that field, and they were saying that like in that field he's so thorough and diligent in what he does that they could see no issues with him coming into a football club, because obviously we see that I suppose the fact that he owns the biggest car dealership in, I think it's more than just like a car dealership at this point. It's such a huge mammoth exercise in terms of what they do surrounding Lexus and Toyota in America, that it's huge, and that's led him on to like holiday resorts, and as I said, into the entertainment business. So he's got now he's dipped his toe into football and has something. I think with the sponsorship deal he has something to do with FC Dallas as well, certainly sponsoring their stadium in MLS. So he's obviously done lots of different things and is in loads of different fields and is very successful. So I think that's the only thing.
Sorry, I'm hearing two voices at once. Sorry, I'm getting. There's another voice in this chat.
Is there someone else in the chat talking? Okay, just hear me now.
Yeah, just you now. Yep.
So there's he's done so well in the business world, and I know really it's the last 6 months at Roma hasn't been great. But before that, it all seemed to be, going really well at Roma. And obviously, just a few issues. Well, not a few issues, but the issues with the management led to bringing in De Rossi. And maybe that was the wrong thing, and because you've messing with the power of a cult, aren't you, behind the player?
Yeah.
So they hopefully will learn from those lessons. But I'm looking at it from this guy is completely different from Mashiri by the looks of it. Yes, they share a common trait of being very, very rich, but I think you've got to look at it and be optimistic, but without going, overboard, because we have been burnt in the past. And I think if you look at it like that and think this guy is, again, and there's no point setting sort of false targets either. Like, if he doesn't sack the manager within 30 days, then these people are a joke. I think you've got to sort of think a little bit bigger than that and think a little bit more long term. This club has been clearly in a mess for a very long time, and with the stadium, building the stadium without actually having the money to build a stadium, with a war breaking out that has caused so many problems for us. I mean, that's a real big, bad sign, isn't it? And
yeah, it was huge.
So, exactly, but the fact that a war breaking out and having direct consequences to the running of our football club is mind-boggling, isn't it, when you think about it?
Yeah.
So that shows that there's just been chaos, hasn't it? And hopefully these calm everything down.
And I think the other thing as well is because of the nature of just how tiring it has been for the fans over the past 3 years. We've had to, really help drag that team over the line in the 21-22 season. We then had to do it again during 22-23 season. We had the points deduction last season. It's there's a lot of just negative energy going around, and you can't blame. And so in a lot of ways, I don't actually blame a lot of the fans for just expecting the worst a lot of the time, because we seem to only be getting the worst. So I don't necessarily blame other fans for that opinion. I think a lot of it is also trying to also balance that out with saying, okay, yes, these things can go wrong, but there is at least there is some evidence to suggest that there are still things to be positive about, and there are things in place, which means that the trajectory of the club can at least change into something where we're less talking about things behind the scenes and more talking about the football. And that's a difficult thing, because the thing that we obviously as fans are going to judge everything most on is the football we see on the pitch. I mean, not for me to go to a match is quite expensive just because of the travel involved in fuel and all that. Getting from London to Liverpool is a very expensive journey, and when you're parking, paying for your food, etc., and then just your time out the house, you're out the house literally the entire day just for 90 minutes of football.
Yeah.
In order for that journey to be justifiable and that cost to be justifiable, what I have to see on the pitch needs to make it has to add up to something where I'm excited about wanting to go. And for a long time, that hasn't been the case. And I think that's why, I mean, you said this a few years ago. I mean, toxic positivity can also be dangerous, where if you're that tweet that Everton put out recently, you were spot on. It is toxic positivity, where we're celebrating clean sheets when we're not scoring goals. The week prior to when those clean sheets started, we let Man United put 4 past us, for example. But at the same time, there is a new owner coming in. Like you said, in the film industry, he's very thorough in everything he does, and I think he will be, like you said, if that's the case, then it's reasonable to assume he will be thorough in how he's going to handle the situation with the manager. The other thing we also have to consider is, with new owners coming in, it's fairly reasonable to assume that we're going to have some money in January to spend, and we'll be looking at saying, right, okay, how do we improve this squad in January to get ourselves further up the table?
Hopefully, I mean, there's no guarantees. There'll be a lot of money just because of the PSR situation, but you'd like to think that they will find that wiggle room, whichever way they can do it, to hopefully bring in some players. You hope anyway, but I just feel like you've got to be optimistic. The club has been not even treading water. The club has been. It's been feel like it's been drowning and just clinging on with its fingertips. It's like every now and again it gets up and gets some air, and then we'll put back down again for as long as we can hold our breath. So it's got to be positive that we're getting a new owner and we're moving in a different direction, and of course then moving into this new stadium. For me, there's no point putting negative blocks in the way before we've even got him in the door. I think that's
it's not even happened yet.
Yeah,
it's like the thing. It's not been confirmed. It's not. We don't actually know exactly what it is going to do, other than he said, she said yet. So it's a case of let's wait and see what they do over the next couple of months before we come to a conclusion on something. Because that way, at least we have a fair. At least that way we can at least come to a reasonable conclusion on it. I want to go up to a game again soon anyway in the next couple of months, just because obviously with Goodison closing, my fiance also now is an Everton fan, so she wants to see Goodison. Yeah.
Ooh,
I know, I keep going to say that. It's amazing. Ooh. Yeah, I still can't believe some girls actually said yes, so I will keep saying that.
Fair play to you, mate. You've got nice hair and you can play the guitar. You basically should be drowning in it.
Yeah, if only I could actually make real money.
Right,
you'd be surprised. I am still a nerd, by the way. So
it's right, but that's the way it should be.
Yeah,
good man. We need
to see Goodison before it goes.
Good man.
But yeah, I'll get off because I know there's a couple of people waiting.
Nice one, Chris. Thanks for giving us a call and opening up the tonight's chat. Nice one. Speak to you later.
All right. Speak to you later, buddy.
Yeah, there you go, Chris. You got engaged, you know. You got engaged. Good man. Good man. Good man. I know he's still there, can hear him. I want him to be there while he hears me. Yeah, there you go. Let me do some comments. Let's Be Avenue said, must be the fasting a good meal and he'd be right as rain. Is that Baz?
He said he was in a bit of a mood before.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's the fasting. It's. I just think he was at a. I don't know. What would you say? What would you say, James?
He's just frustrated, isn't he? There's a lot of stuff that's conflicting and a lot of.
I think it's just
it's all piling up on him, I think.
Yeah. Probably got a little bit of Christmas stuff to do as well, and it's probably just
that's why he's not here, I guess.
Probably, yeah. He's gone shopping. He's gone shopping for his missus. Yeah. But yeah, he was a little bit we all have days like that. You can't we all have those down days, and Baz had his today. It's harder when you're doing this and you're supposed to bring joy to the world at this time of year. It's hard. It's hard. Yeah. Before have you got another call lined up?
Yeah,
do you know who it is?
It's Fletcher.
Okay, this should be interesting. Let's get Fletcher on.
I think it's Fletcher anyway.
Was he talking over Chris? Is that how you know?
Fletcher, are you there?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Hear me now. Go ahead, Fletch.
All right, Ped. How's it going?
Go on, mate.
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good, thank you. Are you having a good Christmas in that so far?
Is it Christmas yet?
Is it Christmas? Are you getting all Christmas in? We've got your Christmas decorations up and that now.
Well, that's
Christmas tree
that's
things like that.
They're contractually obliged.
Right. Okay. Okay. I just wanted to talk briefly about the new owners coming in. Right?
Okay, go on, mate.
The timing of the new manager, in particularly, right? Mm-hmm. Are they going to get rid of Sean Dyche straight away, or are they going to wait until? Well, are they going to be able to get a decent manager, right, from now until before the January transfer window?
I doubt it. I can't.
Doubt it. Yeah.
No, I mean, listen, I don't know. I don't know is the answer. But
Right.
would you, if you owned a football club, Fletch, do you think this would be the best time to sack a manager with like a few days before Christmas and forget about that, it's Christmas, but all those games coming so quickly? Do you think do you think Everton, where we are, I mean, if you're Southampton, I understand they're in free fall. Wolves.
Exactly.
But Everton, who've just picked up 4 points on the last 2 games, that you wouldn't. I don't. For me, I don't think.
Last weekend, we would have had them at the weekend. Last weekend,
of course we would have. Yeah, the wind would
have. We
would
have had them. I reckon it was coming. You know, it was a good time to play them.
Well, fair play, mate. Fair play. You know. So, do you think though, like, it is would be a good time to sack Sean Dyche, or do you think maybe, you know, leave it a couple of weeks just to get back?
A part of me thinks that the sooner the better, because for that, because he's just fucking garbage. Let's be honest. Like, how people celebrating a 0-0 away at the Emirates, fair enough, mate. But I was expecting us to score at least 1 goal.
No, you weren't.
Well, in a perfect world, then maybe. Do you know what I mean? But
fair enough. In a perfect world.
In a perfect world, but then. But what I was just making the point that the sooner the better for Sean Dyche, because of like just the stats, like you're saying, the XG, the performance all round. We should be playing better than what we are doing at the moment. And what is the problem? If it's not the ownership, because the new ownership's being completed, if there's still problems ongoing with the team and with the performances, how are we not sacked Sean Dyche already? That's the bigger question, right?
You mean why haven't? Sorry, are you saying why haven't we sacked them yet? As in now?
Yeah,
or why haven't we sacked?
If the new owners were already here, they would have sacked them by now. Clearly.
No, I mean, I don't think new owners can. I don't think anyone can be sacked before someone is actually confirmed.
No, I was saying hypothetically that if they were here already.
See, but I don't think they will. I think they'll have it. Me and Baz were talking about this before, and do you want the owners to sack him, or do you want... Forget about sacking him, any decision to be made. Do you want any decisions to be made by an owner, or do you want those decisions made by the CEO and the board of the football club?
I think it should come directly from the owner, myself, personally.
But haven't we had that for the last 9 years? Isn't that what we've been very critical of?
Yeah, but it's about style and character is well involved. I think the Viking Group have got a lot more experience with stability and actually holding the club down properly, and actually being able to deal with the management side of things sufficiently, and the board of the directors and the CEOs, etc.
Yeah.
Whereas Machedi, he's not the best equipped when it comes to his vision for a team and for a club. What he wants. People would argue with me and say, "Oh, he's got us a new stage," and what you're talking about. But the philosophy change with Bill Kenwright being at the helm didn't go up any further when Machedi came in. When realistically, we should have been a guiding. It should have been a guiding light in terms of the ambition for the club as being more higher caliber under Machedi than what it actually has been. It's all been quite like we've been speaking about, quietly getting on with it, just like pussyfooting around, basically. When really overall, we should, if the Viking Group could take us to the next step in terms of like our global appeal.
I just think, no, I mean, listen, I get the point of like saying the owners come in and the first decision they make, and maybe the only decision they make, is that we're removing the manager.
What would the only decision they make?
I do personally, I do want the owners to be, you know, just there as the owners who the philosophy comes from, but the CEO, the board, and the director of football
just need to make better decisions overall.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I don't want that interference all the time from the micromanaging from the owners. I want, because I think that's what Machedi done really poorly. I think he got involved, and because Bill Kenwright was there, who obviously had been the previous owner, and suddenly he's in a position of being the chairman, not having the power, but maybe still thinking he had the power. A CEO,
having that authority,
and a director of football. You had this awkward, like, situation where there was so many different people who thought they were making decisions at the football club. What I'd like to see what I'd like to see is a really good CEO in charge of running the business side of the football. The director of football running the football side of things. Of course, that's what he's supposed to do.
Champions League winner, hopefully. People who've won the Champions League, people who've been there, won the Premier League, won the Champions League. We need winners. We need winners at the club. We need people who have been there. I know there's not much to draw from in terms of the players, like Leon Osman, but he tries his best. But like in terms of the winning mentality and the mentality to get back up to where we should be, it should be about bringing the people in who have been there, done that already, and wore the t-shirt.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. But whoever it is, I want them to be in charge of the football club in terms of running it day to day. The Freakins come in, they obviously put their ethos, whatever their ethos is, on the club. But these are people that this will be their second football club. Yeah. They own, as I said, they own lots of different things. They're not hands on on all these things. They can't be working them. You've got to let people who run these let them run the places day in and day out and make those decisions, and not have to ring up every time there's a decision to be made and go, what should I do? And that kind of thing is what I want at the football club. People making decisions themselves, big decisions, and not having it all, And I just felt like for the last 8 years, people have been, who do I ring up for this? Some people will ring this person, some people have been ringing that people. I want a really strong CEO who will make those decisions. But as you said before, the owners have to, I suppose, make that decision in the first place of like, what are we going to do with this manager? There has to be a decision made on.
There needs to be a list somewhere. There needs to be alternatives. There needs to be an alternative strategy in place. Basically, there needs to be a situation where if they do want to get rid of Sean Dyche, then they should have the replacements lined up as soon as possible. We're based on speed dial, essentially.
No, you're right. For the next, Everton need a plan for the next 6 months. Straight away, the plan has to be, this is what we're going to do for everything.
And that plan should Goodison Park as well, because we're not hearing enough about Goodison Park, about it being the last season of Goodison.
Those plans are already being in place, I imagine. I know
they're in place, but in terms of the publicity side of things, in terms of actually upholding like Goodison, in terms of it being our home, right? We should be raising awareness of it being our last season at Goodison Park a lot more than what we are doing.
Listen, I agree. I think I'm not saying they've done anything wrong, but I think maybe they've misjudged the mood on the Goodison situation because
I think they were too busy. What happened with Spurs was basically in their last season talking about the White Hart Lane. Basically, there was a situation where the performance was slipping on the field, so they didn't. With all of the publicity going for the new stadium being built down the road, it affected the performance in the league. And Everton, being Everton, have followed that example.
I don't truly believe Everton moving has got any effects how players play, though. That comes down to the manager. But if the manager. In terms
of whether or not they want to stay at the club, I think it does, and especially with it being the last season at Goodison. It's like his DCL now. Is he waiting to see what happens with the managerial position?
No, but it shouldn't. Though. It shouldn't affect anybody. The point I was trying to make is that Everton have tried to big up this season, last season at Goodison Park, and put different things in place. And the simple fact is, we go the match. And we're not entertained, and we can't enjoy it being the last season at Goodison Park. So that has an effect on things. That's something I would say.
I think the game. Like I said, I think the game last weekend, if it was actually played, it would have been a memorable derby. I reckon it would have been one of those classics. The last one at Goodison Park.
I don't know. I don't think anything
could be played.
Nothing at R12. Nothing at R12 is memorable for me. I'll be honest.
I think we would have given it to me. big style.
I don't care how windy it was going to be. I just don't think we're good enough. I think give it till February when it's late on a Wednesday or a Tuesday night. That's when I'm more up for a derby. 12:30 in the morning, I'm not up for anything, mate. I'll be honest with you. I
was ready for it, mate. I was ready for it.
That does not surprise me, but I just to me I was made up when that derby was called off. I'll be absolutely honest. I was made up.
You just got back, didn't you, from holiday?
I know, but I was just dreading it anyway, mate. It was just like,
all right, fair enough.
I just think Mayside derby, the last Mayside derby, it's again, it almost plays into the narrative of what you're saying there is R12 kick-off for Mayside derby. The last one at Goodison, it wasn't exciting me, but when it gets played, by the time it gets played, I hope I'm excited, because things could be very different. New owner, a new manager, new players even. Who knows? That's what I'm saying. By then, and it being closer to the end, we might all be a bit more up for it. That's what I'm saying. And that's the thing where the club...
that's a good plan. That's a good plan.
That's what I'm saying. I think the club have not quite got it right this season in terms of last season at Goodison Park, because no one's really up for it, because the football's dreadful, and we
should
just
be a
want
fortress, man, shouldn't it?
It should be, mate. You're absolutely right. It should be, and it's not. It's not. So, listen, we've got, hopefully these things get sorted out this week. But in terms of, I don't think anyone should get upset or angry if the manager isn't sacked in the first week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Honestly, he's gone at the end of the season, as far as I'm concerned.
There's a lot of people wanting his head.
I know, mate. I know. But what I mean is, though, is as a football fan, and we all do it.
Seen enough now.
I know, mate. I'm not arguing with you. I've said my opinion on the manager. He's not the fella I want. But the point being is that what happens is, though, as a football fan, it's got to be
the right replacement, hasn't it?
No, but you build stuff up into your head that's not real. And then you get angry about it because it doesn't happen. We all do it as football fans. We all think X is going to start on Saturday at right back, and he doesn't. And then you get dead angry about it when he was actually never going to play. Do you know what I mean? We all do it as football fans. So the main thing is just to be happy that things are changing and understand that things are going to change, but don't expect them to happen overnight and them to happen straight away. Just be a little bit more... Just take that step back and go, right, the first things happened, we've been taken over, and now decisions can be made. Decisions were never going to be made under Mashiri. Everyone who's been saying he won't get sacked under Mashiri, they were absolutely right. Of course they were, and we all knew that, but you still can't help yourself from going, I don't want this manager to be the manager of Everton Football Club. You can't.
It was about patience with Sean Dyche, though, right? But a lot of fans are now losing it.
Most people have run out. Most people have run out.
Completely.
But now is the time. Get the new owner in, and then he can make those decisions.
He's right.
Nice one, Fletch.
No worries.
See you later, mate.
Cheers, Ped. Bye.
Ta-ra, mate. Did he sound like he was underwater to you then?
A
little bit. It's all right. It's not Fletch. Oh, no.
I think we've got one waiting. I think it's Mike.
All right. Well, let me just do a couple of comments before we jump on to Mike. Because if it's Mike Raff, then we're in for the time of our lives. That's all I'm saying. We're in for the time of our lives. So, few people are worried about Baz. They're worried where he is. Know where he probably is, right? He's probably gone to one of those things, the Yakstone things. He's probably gone to one, and he's probably put
the pantomime.
Probably put a picture up. Maybe he's like preparing for a pantomime, and he's just throwing axes. That's what he's doing.
You had a big musical chat early in the week.
Who?
You and Ped. I mean, you and Baz.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, well, we did that on 1878. Make sure you check it out about the best musicals. Brandon says much rather Under the Floodlights than. Hang on. The Athletic have just put this out. The Friedkin Group is set to complete their takeover with an official announcement expected Thursday.
Say what time on Thursday?
Couldn't you tell us what time it is?
It'd be a lot easier if we knew.
Thursday. So Thursday they're saying. That's from Paddy Boyland and David Ornstein. So yeah, that was out 11 minutes ago, but it's only just popped up. Multiple sources with knowledge of the matter, now not authorised to speak publicly, have told The Athletic that the process is now in its final stages. All remains being notification that all has been signed off. So tomorrow, that's what we're saying. Brandon says, much rather under the headlights for the final derby at Goodison Park. Absolutely right, Brandon. Matt says, do we think that the Friedkin group have got the board and CEO ready to go? Do we think they're already been talking during the process with Thelwell? They should already know what they want to do. Therefore, there shouldn't be any delay. Well, the talk is, yes, the talk is that they've already sorted out the CEO and the board. Not sure about Thelwell, whether they could talk to him or whether they talk to him through intermediates at the football club. Not sure. But I don't expect Thelwell to be going anywhere at the moment. So we'll wait and see on that one. Go ahead, get Mike on, please.
Yeah, you should be able to talk now.
Hello, Mike.
All right.
Go on, Mike.
How are you?
I'm all right, mate. Why do you keep saying everything twice?
So,
go on, mate.
I've asked the same question for 2 days on the row and nobody's answered me.
Oh, okay. I'm interested.
Right, okay. So, you're talking about like wheelless trams and stuff like that and whatever. So, if I've got wings,
yeah,
am I not a flying tram?
Yeah. But aren't you also a flying bus?
Well, there you go. Hey, Jesus Christ, we need to run the country. Hey, we run the country. There you go. Yeah, we wouldn't be in the shit we are.
Did you call up to ask whether if trams had wings, they'd be flying trams?
Yeah. Because you didn't answer me. And James, I put my name as Bus, not Mike.
Oh, I got Mike and Bus.
Oh, okay. Oh, Mike and Bus then. Or Bus and Mike.
This is the level of that you now people would expect from the phone in. If people are not aware, right, let me just give some context to this. If people are not aware, me and James were talking, was it yesterday?
Yeah.
About trackless trams, and James said to me, aren't they just buses? And that's a fair point. I can't argue with James about that. And I can't. And now it's led to a bigger discussion of whether trackless trams, why aren't they just buses? And maybe they are just buses. Maybe they're just clever bloody transformers. Yeah. Who are really buses, but they transform into trackless trams. Apparently there's more to it. Apparently they don't have drivers, and apparently there's lasers involved, like the bloody Dr. Evil lasers. But that was the conversation. Are trackless trams just buses? And Mike has just basically gone a step further and decided that if they had wings, effectively they'd just be planes. But are planes just buses with wings?
Yeah, I'll back that.
Come on then, James. How do you identify?
How do I identify
as a wingless bus? A wingless bus or a bus?
So are we saying that buses just identify as trackless trams?
What's the like?
Oh, well, there you go.
Basic one?
Hey,
what does everything
this is the world we live in now, bro. This is the world we live in. Come on. Hey. Anyway, on a serious note, I can't understand why. Like, honest to God, I've never seen Baz throw an hissy fit.
I don't think he's a hissy fit. He just I've seen him throw hissy fits, mate. I have seen Baz. Oh, I've seen him I've seen him do hissy fits. He was just really low today. He was just really, really low.
Why we're on a high? Literally, we're at the end. Right, it's that relationship where you don't want to be together anymore, and you finally go, yeah, and you're like, divorce, bro. Right, you have half of that, you can have half of that, and we'll have the kids. Go on then. So the Freaklins have basically got the kids.
Okay.
So technically, as long as they don't piss the kids off, they don't want to go back to mum, do they?
I'll be honest. I have no experience in this. So and suddenly you've painted a picture like you've got lots of experience in this. No, I'm not saying you have or you haven't. But either you're a screenwriter and you're just like setting the story out for me like it's going to be on Netflix, or you have got loads of experience about this. I don't know, and I'll be honest. I don't really want to delve into these depths because I feel like I could open something up in you that I'm not sure I want to open up like.
It's one of those like everybody's like, oh, we don't need to get rid of Dice. Oh no, mommy, please keep him. Oh no, he's a great daddy. Yeah, come on, really? Oh fucking hell, mate, fuck him off. We'll be alright on our own.
Do you know what? Every time you call Mike, right, I feel like you're in a different time zone. It's like it's 3 o'clock. I am, mate.
I am. I can say what I say. Yeah.
No, it's like it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you've just come in. And everything, it's like we're the taxi driver, and I know this because I was a taxi driver, but it's like this is the conversation with the taxi driver that everybody has when they're drunk on their own. This is what I always feel like when you call. It's brilliant, don't get me wrong, it's absolutely brilliant.
Can you say hello?
Hello.
Okay, there you go.
So not on my own, kid. She's West Ham. Hey, she's West Ham.
That he rescued.
Come on. Oh no, that's my wife. Yeah, go on then.
Just
rescued. I hope somebody rescues us.
Oh my god!
And I do hope it's Dan Freaklin.
Just listen. Just say yes twice if you want us to send help.
Ditch Dice.
Yeah, and even she's just said it. Yeah, go ahead then. It's Dice.
She only wants Dice. She only wants Dice so that she can replace their manager with Dice.
No, give me Moyes.
Oh, she wants Moyes back. Oh, you've got to catch there, Mike. You've got to catch.
Kid, this is an argument in our house constantly. Nah, go ahead then. Yeah, go ahead then. You know what? Mate, give him a 2-year contract. You'll always stabilise us.
Fair point. Fair point.
I said to her, your fans are absolutely fucking mad, and they all went, "Oh, we don't like the way he plays football." And then he came back and saved us. Go on, then.
I don't know whether he's having a conversation with me or his missus here. I don't know.
No, I'm having a conversation with you, mate.
Okay, sorry. I just wasn't 100% sure.
Isn't this marriage counselling? Darn it, I've looked into the wrong one.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've logged. This is his marriage counselling. It's not your marriage counselling, it's his marriage counselling. There we go. It's
like my man. Right, so Fletcher's just said about Tottenham. We worked at Tottenham at Wembley and then went to the new stadium. Mate, honest to God, no, I don't want that in any way, shape, or form.
No.
No. We need to do it cleverer than that.
Hmm.
If we can get this right, totally agree with you, mate. Yeah, why don't you just lob a big arena right next to it, fill a bloody next stocking? It's not hard, is it?
No, it's not, mate. It's not.
Come on. You know, I might live in the smoke, mate, but I still love me Liverpool.
Good man. But you get back to your wife.
Oh no. No, you're not. Yeah, good.
Nice one, mate.
No dramas, mate. You have a nice one, and hopefully Baz is onto the spar, and Yeah, of course then.
Speak to you later. See you later, mate. There you go. That was Mike Raff, who decided that he was going to have a conversation with me like I'm the taxi driver. Fair play. Yeah, so it looks like the announcement is going to be tomorrow. The Athletic have announced that. So they're just getting us all prepared, obviously, aren't they? Yeah, the club have obviously leaked the news to them, or someone at the club has leaked the news to them about the situation. So that's good news. That's good news. If anyone wants to give us a call about that, I really want to know if somebody, by the way, has this. I want to hear from at least one person about the season ticket situation.
There's no callers right now.
Yeah.
So if you want to come straight to the front of the queue, just join.
Or if you can't give me a call, put it in the comments. But obviously, a call would be better because it's a bit of a long process. I can't read out what you're saying in the comments about Mike Raff. That's your personal view about who you believe that person was with him in the room. I can't read that out. That would be unethical. And yeah, so I can't. But I still want to hear if somebody about the process, about the season tickets, whether you believe it was right or you believe it was wrong. I don't know. Me and Baz were talking about this afternoon. It's such a complicated thing with that, with the season tickets that I don't. James, you missed out on one. I mean, we were talking about this before. You've been on the waiting list for like 4 years, and it is weird that you've been in it maybe some of the worst times, but you obviously got the note that you wouldn't be getting one.
Yeah, it's weird as well because me and my dad both joined at the same time, but it says my dad's been one for longer and that he's had a membership for longer, even though we've done it together, and that he's going to be told in March whether there's any left, and I'm not going to be told at all. So it's just.
So I'm taking from that that someone said this before about, I think it was Emma. She said about she got told, or she got in her email. Sorry, Mike Cosgrove said, I finally got offered the season ticket. I think the process is fine. It just come back to the fact that the stadium isn't big enough. Sorry. Well, it would be fine if you got one then, Mike, wouldn't it? Of course it would be. You got one. You're all right. I think Emma mentioned before about said in her email that they'd find out more in March. But what I'm hearing from the periods is that I think it's whether there's any left.
Yeah.
Like as in, everyone who's on the waiting list who's been offered one mightn't be able to take the season ticket financially. There might be reasons. I think I seen someone on social media earlier today or yesterday said they were offered one and they live in America.
Wow.
So, and someone said earlier, didn't he, on the show earlier, that they were in Cyprus, and I couldn't work out if they lived in Cyprus or they were just on holiday. So maybe they were just on holiday. Yeah. But I imagine there are people who were on the waiting list who don't live in this country or who can't financially actually afford one now.
Yeah, time change, yeah.
And by the time March comes, they might have said, no, I can't actually afford this.
Yeah, but it's just weird, isn't it? Because how many are going to be available in March? That's the question, isn't it?
Well, that's the point, isn't it?
How many have they offered to it already, and how many might be available?
Yeah.
Which is a weird one, isn't it?
So I'm not sure what, but the ultimate thing is the stadium in terms of capacity is too small. It's too small, isn't it? I keep on forgetting what camera on because that telly's gone off. Sorry, I need to look at this camera. The stadium's too small. Now, when I say the stadium's too small, what I mean by that is not the actual footprint, because I don't think the footprint could have been made any bigger unless we move to Croxteth. Yeah. But I believe, and listen, I might be wrong, but I believe that there could be more seats in the stadium. I mean, about some of this before. the stadium, when it was getting built, we were promised 60,000 with safe standing, and that's quietly sort of been removed from the narrative. But we were promised 60,000 if safe standing rules change. Now, what we're led to believe is, with safe standing is that it isn't hard and fixed rules. And we talked to someone who's been behind safe standing from the very start, by the way, who took us over to Germany, showed us a couple of stadiums in Germany, how they do it. And there aren't any fixed rules. It's like more of a, like, the Green Book and all this kind of thing. I'm disappointed that Everton haven't been, like, leading the charge to try and change the remit from 1 to 1 to 1.5 so that we could get an extra one person in for two seats, essentially. Because then that would obviously give us an extra, I think, 3,000 seats straight away. We've mentioned loads of times about the size of the seats. I think they could be smaller, personally. I've sat in one, not in the stadium, of course. But I've sat in a seat. What?
It's a weird flex. You've sat in a seat.
I've sat in a seat.
Where did you sit in the seats for the new stadium?
So in the Liver buildings, at the top of the Liver buildings, there's a
mock-up of it.
There's a showroom. We've been in the showroom a couple of times. There's a video on the channel I did last October, November, about it. Mm-hmm. And you could go in and pick like a corporate seat, and it showed you all the different sizes of the seats, including the general ones. And they are roomy. Anyone who's been in the Emirates, they are roomy. Now, the irony of that is Arsenal are actually considering making their seats smaller. Oh, yeah? Because they think theirs are too big. They wanted more people in the ground. Now, that's not where we are right now. Everton aren't thinking like that. They're thinking of just getting to the ground and we'll go from there. But there are loads of ways, I believe anyway. And who am I? I'm nobody. But I believe, someone just mentioned that they're the lazy boys. Those lazy boys in 3 years need to be binned, as far as I'm concerned. They're not. It's not football. Going to watch football in a lazy boy isn't football, right? Replace them with seats, right? I've got no problem saying that. Someone come up with the idea. They've sold, fair play. They'll make a lot of money. Get rid of them. And then try and capitalise on other parts of the stadium where you can get more seats in. And also, you've got to, as I said, the safe standing, the rail seats. You've got to come up with a better, you've got to push. They said 60,000. That was the selling point. 53, but it can go. And that's quietly being removed from the conversation. But I think as fans, we shouldn't forget that. Yeah. We shouldn't forget that. Dan Mice, I think, recently said, well, the stadium is what it is and blah, blah, blah. But he comes from the American market, whereas you don't have massive stadiums because you're trying to sell them out and make more money as such. I mean, that's the NBA. NFL, they have large stadiums. But I think that's what we've got to try and do. We've got to try, because lots of people are angry about the sides as well, aren't they? I think we all knew that the West Stand was going to be hospitality, but now the East Stand has got hospitality in it, yeah. And people like Baz, that's where he sits at Goodison. He's not happy,
There's a lot of people fuming about that online, weren't they? That it's all been changed, like on the halfway line, or they've been made more expensive than what they were at Goodison.
Well, they're £1,200, aren't they? The £1,200 seats. And I know it's like you can mingle with ex-Everton players, but I'll be honest, I don't know how many people actually want to mingle with. I'm not, no disrespect to anyone who does, by the way, and no disrespect to the players. Yeah. But I think going to matches like a family thing. It is for me anyway. Yeah. I'm sure it is for you with your dad. I think going to matches is a family thing. I think you want to. There's now and again you like those. You like being like a special treat. Yeah. But I think most people like going to match, and being with their family and for Baz it's sitting with Zach. So I'm sure that's annoying him. I know he's saying doesn't really care where he sits, but I'm sure he'd rather sit where he's sitting now.
Yeah.
And listen, the club had to find a balance, and the club could be in here now. And this is half the problem. The club haven't, and they don't have to, by the way. The club haven't come out and said why they've done it the way they've done it. And as I said, they don't have to. They don't have to. The club could say to us as season ticket holders, we're going to have X amount of walk-ups at whatever cost. I'd imagine it'll be £65 plus for a walk-up. It's 55 now. So I think it'll be 65 maybe all over. And they'll say we have so many walk-ups, so many hospitality seats, so that you as a season ticket holder who's put all this time and energy into the last 20 odd years, your ticket's cheaper than what
it was then.
People would think it should be, because loads of people thought the tickets in the new ground, season ticket holders, would be like the cheapest would be £1,000.
Yeah.
Now I never thought that personally.
Yeah, no, I saw people saying that.
But loads of people thought it was going to be £1,000. And the other thing about it, someone's just put there, P. Macker said prawn sandwich brigade. But the other thing is, right, loads of people like Baz, who really like that seat, mightn't be bothered about all the corporate stuff, but might just be like, I want my seat, and are willing to pay that £1,200. They don't care about anything else. They're just like, I want that seat. That's where I like watching the match. And don't underestimate that as well. It's one of the best seats in the house, and people will be prepared to pay it.
Yeah.
So, as I said, I'm really interested. I'd be really interested. By the way, I don't really want to make a big thing about it. Just a few people sort of have asked me on social media. Well, even more than asked me. It's, you know, when you can tell someone's tweeting and they're angry.
Yeah. Trying to play cool.
No, they were both. But a couple of people were very angry. We're like, why aren't you talking about this on your show? And I'm like, I will talk about it on my show, but what I've got to be careful of is not coming out and ripping into the football club.
Yeah.
When I've got no evidence that what they're doing isn't the right thing. I honestly can't sit here. I want the ground to be bigger. I can't question how many seats it should have, hospitality-wise. I can't, honestly. We've been crying out for years, and I've done it this week, saying the club's got to be better. It's got to be ran better. So if I say, oh, everyone should have a season ticket, they can come back at me and go, so you're the one who said it should be better, and yet you want
tapping into international fans.
You don't want. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're doing it the way everyone else is doing it, so we've got to keep up with them. So I can't sit here honestly and I can't pick a side as such. I'd like the information from the football club. That'd be handy to know how they pick it. But I think most of us agree that this football stadium isn't big enough.
No, yeah. Absolutely.
But like we've said a couple of times, the other way of thinking about it as well is this stadium is 7 years out of date.
Yeah.
I mean, it's brand new. But when this ground was created, it was like 7 years ago. When it was the people in charge 7 years ago, CEO 7 years ago, what they believed Everton could sell. And don't get me wrong, it was too small then. It was too small when they said 52,888 then, but they hung that 60,000 over us, didn't they? They put us, they said 60,000 would say standing. They put it there over our heads. They led us to believe if they hadn't put that 60,000, I think more fans would have pushed back. I seriously think more fans would have pushed back on it. But when you hear that word 60,000, you go, that's acceptable. Yeah, that's a good number. Club, yeah. We'll all get season tickets. Everyone will be happy with 60,000. You know, say Standon's coming back, we're all going to be happy with that. Yeah. So it was a bit of a trick, that, and that 60,000 has slowly been removed from the conversation. So
it's interesting.
Paul says, people love to complain and will do so no matter how this is arranged. We all want the club to be run as proper business, but whinge when it is. Hopefully the chat is just a placeholder. Yeah, but Paul, I don't think it's whinging, because I can sit here and go, I've got a season ticket, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But James hasn't, and other people haven't, and you've been on the waiting list for 4 years.
Yeah.
I know there's people who've been on the waiting list for 5 years. That's a long time in one of the worst parts of Everton's history to be sitting there going, and you know there's going to be 10,000 walk-ups, or that's what's being said.
Right, yeah.
and then go, am I supposed to be all right with this? Because the other side of it is, this was your golden window to get a season ticket. Yeah. You have no idea when you're going to have a chance to get another season ticket. You may never get an opportunity to get another season ticket. John Blaine's in the comments and he said it was never going to be 60,000. Yes, John, but they did say it, didn't he?
Hinted at it.
They did say it though. Whether it was ever going to be, they did say 60,000. They did hang that above our heads. I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to be, argumentative. They did say that, and a lot of people that will have caught a lot of people. So, listen, if you didn't get one and you've been on the waiting list for a while, I do feel bad for you. Like, it's not great. David says 52,888 is an odd number, if you know what I mean. It should have been 55. We've never averaged more than 50,000, but twice. Yeah, I think we could get 55 in this stadium. I think if we change the sizes of some of the seats, I think we could get 55 personally. But there you go. There you go. Any more calls?
Nope.
There is no more calls. You have give up on me. Mike Raff has destroyed all of you so heavily that we
scared everyone off.
He's scared. He has scared everyone off. Let's have a look some more of your comments. Some of the ones I've missed, some of the earlier ones.
Emma's called you out on YouTube.
What has she called me out as?
She said you said a while ago that they should do no new season tickets for a few years so current holders can move around Brandy Moore doctors decide their final spec.
Yeah, and I still agree with that. I still agree with that.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I said, and John has repeated it himself. What I said was no new season tickets for the first 3 years, right? So after 3 years, then you get your season tickets. What I said was, I'm just arguing a point for other people today, by the way. What I said was no new season tickets for the first 3 years, right? So that everybody who's got a season ticket in the ground can move, right? So Baz, who's been moved from his seat because his seat is now £1,200, moves to another seat and goes, I don't like it here. He should get an opportunity. Okay, 3 years it should maybe be the first 2 years. See, you will get a season ticket if you're on the list. But that was my argument of people who've been on the waiting list. People who had season tickets. They get to change what their seat is. And that's what it was. I also said that there should be a new tier created where you get a seat guaranteed, but you don't have the same seat. So if you're in a pair or whatever, you get a seat guaranteed for every game at a tier that is more expensive than season tickets, but less expensive than walk-ups. It's all there. I said it all. And I would have that for the first couple of years or so. So everybody who has been a season ticket holder for years gets the opportunity to make at least one move in the new ground, because I honestly think that's fair. People will move to the new ground and might not like their seat for whatever reason. They might not like the people around them. If you're sitting by me, they might not like where it is, the angle. They might be displaced, like I said about Baz, and go, I don't really like it here. I like that at the side, but I don't like it here. But I might be able to, I'll go and try that other place over there. That's what I stick with that. I stick with that because that might be you get 1 year and you get a chance to change it. But the place you might want to go, if you've got all these new season ticket holders, it's not going to be there, isn't it? That extra tier, as I said, in between season ticket holder and walk up, I think should be there. I think it should be there anyway, if I'm honest. I think it could be there now. I think some of those 10,000 could be that new tier where people go, it's not your seat, as in, like, you don't get one seat.
Yeah.
You've been on the waiting list for 5 years, James. We can't offer you a season ticket, but what we can offer you is this next tier up, where you get you get a seat every game. You've said to us you're going to come every single game. We can't guarantee that from these people who are on the walk up, and it's halfway between your season ticket. I think that's right.
Yeah.
And you know what, Emma, there is a bit of I'm all like Jack in that, but lots of people have put lots of money into this club for the last 25 years or 23 years as the tenure goes. I've been going for 40 years. Baz has been going for over 40 years. John Blaine's been going for a very long time. Lots of people have been going for a very, very long time. I believe that should be paid back with just 1 year. 1 year. You can move your seat for 1 year. That's just my opinion. It ain't happening. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But I do still think that extra tier could come in, though. I do think if you missed out on a season ticket, but you're absolutely prepared to go to every single game, you could pay for that. Ben, you could pay for that. Yeah. I'm prepared to go to every single game, but I can't get a season ticket. The club could go, if you're prepared, well, you're not going to be in the same seats every week, so it's not a season ticket, but we're going to give you a slight discount. But Emma, I'm not getting a new seat. That's not my commitment getting paid back, though, is it? That's not my commitment. Everton have built a stadium that's too small. That's not my fault. That's not my fault that Everton have built a stadium too small. Every season ticket holder's commitment should be paid back. It's not paying us back by giving us a new seat, though. That's not paying us back. We pay for the privilege of sitting at Goodison Park, every single week. So, listen, it ain't happening, so it doesn't really matter. It ain't happening. John Blaine, next season, will be his 50th as a season ticket holder. I'm just saying that was what I would have done. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. But I have no problem saying that that's what I would have done. Because there's 32,000 season ticket holders, or whatever, going to the new ground that have kept this club going. Simple as that. They have kept this club going. And the people who were on the waiting list, there would have been an extra year, maybe, or an extra 2 years of having to wait. But you would have been on it. Glad who's calling?
Mike Raff.
Mike Raff can't be giving us another call.
Yes.
No, not having him. Not having Mike Raff back on. No, because we're going soon. No. You can't have doubles. You can't double. That's not happening.
Wait.
No. No. James, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I've got rid of it.
I want to go home at some point. John says we should have a massive game of musical chairs to the tune of Z Cars. Music stops when we score a goal. Fair play. Sai says there should be a forum or software available per stadium section that's open for those who want to swap seats with whoever, so the pairs have a chance to reunite. Is that like... It's like a dating app, but for people who sit in the stadium. John says, let's hope we don't have too many tiers going forward. Had too many recently. Roll on the good times again. Okay. David said extra tier on the Western East stand. They're not going to build on this stand. It's just not going to happen. We're not going to build on this. The only way I could ever see us building right, and again I can't see it happening, is if the North stand can't be built on. So I'm not building on a stand that isn't even open yet, but a ground that isn't open. The North stand can't be built on unless you buy United Utilities, which is not happening. The South stand can't be built on unless you fill in the dock. The West stand can't be built on because you'd be going over the water channel, so you'd have to fill the water channel in. So, and there's only the East stand, and the East stand would have to, the only way it'd be built on is if you got rid of some of the fan plaza. So it ain't happening. Let's be honest. That ain't happening. The footprint for the ground will never be built on, I imagine, ever. But But as we said, there are things internally I think you can change. I think there's things inside the ground you can change, and we've gone over them. Yeah. So, safe standing is the first one. I think that could get us up to 56,000. Get rid of the lazy boys. Make some smaller seats. I know and surely in the family stand where you've got like kids, you don't need those big seats.
Yeah.
You don't need those little. You've got kids. You don't need those big seats for all those little kids. You know, tell the mums and dads to squeeze up a bit. Put the kids on your lap. It's all good. All good. Right. Look at a couple more comments and then we'll be going. Michael says, I sit on a different seat every game on a membership. As long as I'm not behind a post, not bothered. New stadium won't really have a bad seat in the house. Fair enough. Fair point. Everton Viking says, I don't care about mingling with ex-pros or having a private bar and food areas. How is it private, by the way, when it's in the largest stand? We went fully too corporate with it. Okay. AI ESC said should have been 60,000 with the potential to expand. Lack of vision. Imagine the stadium capacity with most clubs in the Premier League in the next 20 years. The only problem with that is, mate, it could never have been where it is. It couldn't have been where it is to be somewhere that's going to expand. It simply couldn't. The footprint is too small. Far too small. So that couldn't have happened. Brandon says, thought the process for season tickets at the new ground is okay, but I'm not a big fan of how little more there seems to be an increase in nearly 15,000 seats. How many extra seats for season ticket holders is there supposed to be? Well, the rumour, and I stress this as a rumour, is 3,000 extra season ticket holders. That's the rumour. I can't say that's real or not real. Posh Matty says, I'm playing the long game, hoping to retire in 20 years and have 20 years membership to walk into the top of the season ticket queue, spend my retirement on buses to Everton. Fair play. That sounds like a really, really good idea. Chris Burns says, couldn't you also turn that on its head and say you can expand the West Stand, you just need to fill in the dock? Yeah, I mean, you could, but you wouldn't be left with much room at all. I just don't see them ever expanding this stadium. I just can't see it happening at all. Levi says, what happened if they come in, sack Dyche, hire Potter, then he doesn't get the results due to not being his team and needs quality, then we keep losing. Everyone will be against the new manager. That's the decision they've got to make, isn't it? That's the decision they will make. Mike Cosgrove says, I had a season ticket for 15 years, give it up financially having my son, and then got stung by the waiting list whilst creating a new Evertonian, but should get punished why people bounce around seats. Yeah, well, Mike, I can't answer that, mate. I mean, loads of people are in your position and haven't got season tickets, so there's not one good thing that fits everybody. My one is just that I think, number one, it pays back people who've been season ticket holders continuously going into the stadium, and also creates an opportunity for people to get seats for a couple of years and then become season ticket holders. So either way, someone's getting punished, aren't they? So it doesn't really matter. You know, the whole point of tenure is people who have been season ticket holders continuously are getting a seat. My thing was just going a little step further, because going in a new ground, who knows? But listen, it doesn't really matter, does it? The club have done this version of it, and people aren't happy because there aren't enough season tickets. So it doesn't really matter which way anyone does it. No, people won't be satisfied. People who've got tickets will be satisfied. Of course they will. They'll be happy. People who haven't got season tickets won't be happy. So people will look at your point and go, well, I should have got a season ticket as well. can't keep everybody happy. It's all the club, and this is where I have sympathy for the club. Had to make a decision. They had to make a decision, and they've made a decision. So there you go. And they've got my idea was pie in the sky anyway. It was literally pie in the sky. It was never going to happen. It was never going to happen. It was pie in. It was just something for me where it's like, what if you don't like your seat? Because we're being so used to Goodison Park. Darren, no, I'm afraid I can't run that fast, mate, to change it. The club would never have changed it anyway, though, mate. The club, there was evidence like 7 years ago to suggest that 53,888 wasn't big enough then. So I don't know what evidence we could give Everton Football Club for them to make it 60,000. I really don't. I really don't. Because surely, and people might correct me in the comments, but surely 7 years ago, everybody could see where football was going and that Everton needed a 60,000 capacity stadium. And people at the club thought that was too small. And people were saying it's those final tickets that they're the hardest ones to shift and it's better making it smaller and all that kind of thing. I'd have had it 60,000 from day one and we would never have these. We wouldn't be having these conversations, would we? We would not be having these arguments about what's the best way to do it. We simply wouldn't. I mean, we still would. We'd still be having arguments, wouldn't we? The people, as John's just pointed out, none of the people who made this decision, and that's why I'm saying it's 7 years out of date, this stadium, because none of the people who made these decisions are at this club. And it would be very interesting to see whether the Freakins make any kind of decisions on the stadium. They can't make it bigger in terms of footprint, but will any of them decide, will they decide there are ways and means to increase capacity? Maybe they start lobbying for safe standing to be increased. I don't know. But everyone, the people who made these decisions aren't at the club, and they were all so short-sighted that that's part of the reason why they're not at the football club, because none of them have had the ambition to take this football club in the right direction. There you go. John says it's possible that the new stadium identifies at 60,000 and therefore is one. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about it. It could identify one, but it ain't going to be one until there is one. Al says lack of vision by the club. You can't fit enough people into the stadium now. Imagine when Everton starts winning. New stadium in 10 years. Well, like in America, new stadium every year. Where was it? Someone was saying the other day. Oh, it was Agent Heath. He was in the studio and he was talking about he got invited to watch a college game somewhere, and he said he were in this university, and he said because obviously the money in American universities, and he said every basically 5 years or something, wherever they were, they just knock down that whatever it is, basketball, American football, whatever it is. It must have been in Minnesota. He said every 5 years they just knock it down and rebuild it. He said because in 5 years, as far as they're concerned, it's out of date. Now, obviously, we can't do that in football because football stadiums are so expensive. But obviously, that's what happens in NFL, isn't it? They're always looking every 25 years. It's moved on so fast. They make so much money out of their stadiums that it's moved on. You do wonder whether that'll start happening in this country. I mean, look at Old Trafford. Old Trafford is seen as massively out of date. And I know it's not new, but it's been completely rebuilt since 1992. Is there a point that Anfield, Liverpool fans, someone says you can't do the Kop and you can't do the Kenny Dalglish stand, and they go, do you know what, we're going to have to move because there's an opportunity to get 100,000 people in a stadium where currently they only have 60. They might have to make a decision in 10 years. Otherwise, they're going to have to knock down more streets and block a main road through the city. These decisions will start to have to, I think in football, the Emirates, they're already looking at how they can increase the capacity. everyone's trying to keep up all the time. So, Let's Be Avenue says 55,000, including safe standing, surely could be done. I think so. Mike says, I think the process has been fine, benefits me getting a season ticket, but then doesn't that my missus and lad don't? Like you said, it doesn't. We can't please everyone, but definitely can't make everyone wait 3 years. You've waited this long, Mike. You've waited this long, and some people are going to have to wait a hell of a lot longer. They might never. Some people might never, who are on the waiting list, ever get a season ticket. They might never get a season ticket. So, and there might actually only be like a year or two between what you've been waiting and what they've been waiting. So, I don't know.
That's 5 years and like 2 months.
Yeah. Ian the Blue says the reason the club said that they wouldn't build the bigger ground is because they thought they wouldn't fill it, plus the extra cash. Yeah, that's all it comes down to. All it comes down to is people who don't have the vision that what we as fans have the vision. And they truly didn't believe that Everton fans would go to a ground every single week and sell it out 60,000. So that comes down to people who just shouldn't be in football. Shouldn't be in football. Mike, I'm not a capitalist pig. Thank you very much. I was just looking out for people who've been going the game every year for the last 25 years. That's all I was doing. I was thinking more of the other people, not myself, obviously, because I'm going to get the best seats in the house. Because Bill has already left me that. That was one of the last things that he left me that. Like he got me into the Chelsea game in COVID. He left me the best seat in the house where I want it. So I'm not worrying. I'm not worrying. I was looking out for other people like Baz, who didn't have those relationships. Right, last couple. John Blaine says there was board members at the time who thought 47,000 would be fine. There you go. John is spilling. John's in Florida. He's relaxing. He's probably got a beer in his hand and he's spilling all the goss. And I like it. I like it. Listen, if you got a season ticket, congratulations. If you didn't get a season ticket, commiserations. Hopefully they explain, the club just explain a little bit more about it, just to give people a little more of an idea of what's going on. Just communicate with people just a little bit more about what went into the process. We've got a really good, John Blaine did a really good video in the Royal Liver building about the process of moving over. That's on the channel. Make sure you check that out. The club were nice enough to allow us to do that. Check that out for more information. Nick says, hello, Peb. What are some things that change with ownership? Do you think that we'll see Dyche until the new year or the new season? I personally think he's done a job. I think he's done his job at the end of the day. He's nothing more than an emergency manager who kept us up. It's not petty. It's not pretty, sorry. He's managed some brilliant results. The Derby win was one of the best nights I've been Evertonian. 5-1 win at Brighton. However, his style is frustrating to watch as a fan. Some of the results have been shocking. We've been negative in our play instead of going for goals in open play. We sit back and wait for the who for long. I've always liked him and still do, but again, he's run his course out. I would like to know the realistic manager options. I know you want Frank. I quite like Eddie Howe. I'm not too sold on Graham Potter, and I think we need to leave Moyes in the past. Listen, if they come in and they don't sack him straight away, as I said earlier, I'm not going to get a big cob on about it. He's gone at the end of the season, I think. And even though I don't want him to be my manager, I'm not going to it's not going to destroy me if it's just about the style of play. If we're picking up points and we're trudging along, then I'll see it for what it is. Get it done it'll be done by the end of the season. Don't make it like you think of, like, if he doesn't get sacked, then these people are the worst people in the world. I think that's the best way to look at it. We're going to have a lot of patience on a lot of things with this. So I understand the other side of it, where it's like we're picking up the points one by one. He's not my cup of tea. He never will be my cup of tea. But I don't know what's going to happen either. Okay, Ian the Blue, going to finish with this. I've been on the season ticket list for 3 years on the top tier, previously for 2 years on tier 2. I've paid £35 for 3 years. I received an email in May to say that I was in band 12,000 to 15,000, so I don't have a cat in hell's chance of getting a season ticket. When I rang the club, I was told I wouldn't receive one for the first season of Bramley Moor. I would have had to be in the list from 2018 to even have a chance of one. The problem is the club are still taking £35 a season off members, thinking they're going to get a chance of a season ticket. There you go. Thanks for that, Ian. John Blaine saying, clip that. James Ped saying we have to be patient. No, what I was saying, John, is we have to be patient with the... If you'd seen Baz earlier on, John, you'd understand that comment. Because Baz was about to... He was about to do something bad, wasn't he, James?
Yeah.
He wasn't in the best mood.
He wasn't.
And he wanted it, like, everything done this week. And I was like, maybe that's not realistic. Maybe that's not realistic. Yeah. We'll leave it there. Right, we're going to go because I can hear noises from the other room as happy people prepare for happy times. And I don't want to be here for those things because I don't believe in happiness. I believe we all did something wrong in a past life and we are all being punished for it. Mike Cosgrove, 1,000,000% you're not just pulling your leg. Good political views, just wrong on the seat bouncing for 3 years. I don't believe I am. Sorry, everyone, your price has gone up. Ped needs 3 years to decide where he wants to sit. Absolutely, Mike. Absolutely. I am thinking about this like you think about cars, and that is, they are rubbish, and you're just trying to rip everybody off. There you go. Emma, I'm not a goth. You're a goth. See you later. Bye. Bye. Keep on looking over there when it's over there. Bye.